Commencing transmission. Engaging scramblers. Proxy chain initialized. And now, live from his hidden base at the Earth's core, the future ruler of Earth, Doomcock.
Greetings, my friends. I am Dicta Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I am here today to report that, despite all the hype and propaganda about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the theme park located in Disneyland is a failure, and attendance at Disneyland is down as well.
Holy crap, during the summer season when kids are out of school and families take vacations?
That's right, Harvey. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is as empty as a dentist's office parking lot on Sunday during the zombie apocalypse. According to a new article by slashfilm.com entitled, "Why Are Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and Disneyland Not Busy on Opening Week?" Galaxy's Edge is not the success that Disney was hoping it would be. Quote, "You can walk right into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge right now at Disneyland without a problem. On the first week, the land has been open to the public without reservations. Disneyland and Disney California Adventure both seem to be empty. The standby lines for some of the popular rides in the parks are the lowest I've ever seen. This is the middle of the summer, when Disneyland Resort is usually packed to capacity. What is going on here?"
What's going on is The Last Jedi sucked, and Galaxy's Edge doesn't have any real Star Wars characters in it, and there's not much to do there except walk on the Millennium Falcon to see the porgs, and they fingerprint and facial scan your kids to get into the park. That's what's going on. And of course, because without respect, we reject, the boycott of Star Wars that you called for may also be having an impact. That is why it's empty.
Well, not according to this article, Harvey.
Beg your pardon?
No. The park is empty for all sorts of reasons, Harvey, none of which, apparently, are the ones you list.
That sounds like a sock full of fresh farm horse pucky to me.
Well, Harvey, that's because you're not as with it and savvy as slashfilm.com, which bends over backwards to not only attribute this apocalyptic failure to everything other than fan indifference and the failure of the Star Wars sequel franchise, but also to say how wonderful it is to visit now when the park is so empty. Come on down, gang, the water is just fine.
Slashfilm.com is turning pee-pee into lemonade.
Afraid so, Harvey. Yes, according to this article, Disney was really nervous about the massive success that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was going to become. They were really worried that they were going to be mobbed by countless fans drawn like moths to a burnt-out pile of ashes to a Star Wars park without any Star Wars in it. And so they were. In other words, not. Had the park blazed with the pure fire of George Lucas's Star Wars, fans would have swarmed the joint like hairy armpits at Lilith Fair. But no, Harvey. No, those internal projections that the theme park would be filled to capacity this summer because of Galaxy's Edge were quite mistaken.
Wow. Didn't they take all sorts of crazy-ass elaborate steps to make sure they could cope with the enormous crowds?
They did, Harvey. They created some brand new attractions that were being opened elsewhere in the parks for just a limited time to lure people away from Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, well, looks like they were too good at luring people away from Galaxy's Edge, Dictor. Like really good. Like, thinned the herd too much extinction time good. Disney is great at marketing themselves right out of business. Oh, they excel at that, sir.
So how bad are things in the wonderful land of Batuu, that magical Star Wars location that no one has ever heard about and no one gives two farts in a wind tunnel for? According to the article, wildly popular attractions throughout the park can be ridden with waits of only 10 to 15 minutes, Harvey. You can breeze through lines and ride the rides multiple times in an hour. That's how devoid of visitors the park currently is, not only in Galaxy's Edge, but all across Disneyland.
Dude, It's because people have seen how lousy and boring Galaxy's Edge is. The word has spread in the last 3 weeks. Plus the fact that Star Wars fans are really, really salty about The Last Jedi, and they've started hearing about how Disneyland is fingerprinting and facial scanning kids like criminals at the gate.
Oh, not according to this article, Harvey. Which, get this, ignores the very obvious and valid points you raised and tries to say visitors were scared away by all the glorious hype. They were scared away by all the logistical precautions Disney was planning, including a virtual line using a Disneyland app that would alert you to come to the park as people left, a huge new parking garage and tram system to herd the cattle to the slaughter, the guests to the wonderland of fun for the whole family, blackout days for annual pass holders and cast members. Disney Parks Logistics spent a lot of time, money, and effort to make sure that attending Galaxy's Edge would not be a horrible experience for fans, and that might have partially bit them in the foot. After all, on the other side of the country, there's a new Harry Potter ride with a 10-hour wait in a completely packed theme park. No virtual queuing, no reservation periods, just old-fashioned long lines. From what I've heard, that attraction and park seem busier than ever. Well, that's one thing that Harry Potter has over Star Wars. No one has remade it into irrelevance, and no one has corrupted that canon, and Harry Potter is still Harry Potter, regardless of what you think of the books or the films. Harry Potter fans can reliably watch Harry Potter movies and see Harry Potter, and that's a hell of a lot more than can be said for Star Wars, which is no longer even recognizable.
So basically, Disney threw a party and nobody came.
Succinctly put, oh eldritch horror of horrors. Slash Film put it a little more elaborately when they said, did Disney scare potential tourists away from visiting the park with all these precautionary logistical procedures? It seems clear that Disney's plan backfired, and the Mouse House is now trying whatever they can to get people into the parks.
Yeah, whatever they can, except firing Kathleen Kennedy and making Star Wars great again.
Yes, Harvey. Slashfilm.com gives a lot of logistical reasons for the failure of Disney theme parks at the start of this summer season, saying it was blocking certain lower and mid-tiers of season pass holders, fear of crowds, the second Star Wars ride hasn't opened yet, everything, except Disney has killed Star Wars and people are resenting the hell out of it. As all of you know, Doomcock has called for a boycott of Star Wars, especially Star Wars Episode 9. Is Doomcock merely the tip of the spear of public fury against Lucasfilm and Disney for destroying one of the great myths of the 20th century? Or is Doomcock the entirety of the spear in the raised fist of fandom? Regardless, Harvey, I think the lesson here is clear. Curb thy arrogance, ye corporations, lest thy pride goeth before thy fall. In its final paragraph, this article in slashfilm.com concludes, why is Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland not as busy as expected? No one can seem to nail down the answer to that question. If you're having trouble /film, go and watch The Last Jedi, and then go ahead and take a peek at Solo. The answer may come to you then. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, oh yes, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.